So you edited your photos in Lightroom and now they look flat. You have dull colors, no depth, and they're slightly gray and they have a washed out feeling. Today, I want to show you exactly why that is happening. There are 3 specific mistakes I see photographers make all the time. And here's the frustrating part. They're not beginner mistakes. These are habits that sneak in after you've been using Lightroom for a while. You think you're doing the right thing, but these 3 moves are quietly killing the depth in your photos every single time. So today, let's fix it. So our first mistake is really simple. You're using the shadow slider as a crutch. Here's a scenario most of us know. You have a beautiful landscape photo, great sky, interesting foreground, but the foreground's maybe a little too dark. So what do? You drag the shadow slider up. The foreground brightens, and you now see the detail. Is the problem solved? Well, maybe not quite. What the shadow slider actually does is lift the entire lower tonal range of your image globally. You're not just brightening up that dark foreground rock, you're pulling up every shadow in the frame. The areas that were supposed to stay dark to create depth and dimension, they all get boosted up at the same time. This is what creates that flat look. Your tonal range collapses towards the middle. Everything drifts to gray, and no matter how much vibrance or contrast you add afterwards, you can't recover the depth because you've already removed it. So the fix for this is masking. Instead of lifting shadows globally, create a luminance range mask that targets only the darkest areas of the image, and specifically the region that you want to open up. Now your edit is surgical. You're only revealing the shadow detail exactly where you need it, without flattening the shadows that are supposed to stay dark. It takes about 30 seconds and you'll see the difference immediately. Okay, 1 down. Mistake number 2 is the one that most photographers are making right now and they have absolutely no idea, so stay with me here. Mistake number 2 is really simple. You're reaching for the saturation slider when you should be using the vibrance slider. These 2 controls look the same and they look like they do the same thing, but they actually don't. Saturation is indiscriminate. It boosts every color in your image by the same amount, regardless of whether the color was already vivid. So your sky goes from a rich, deep blue to a blown out neon plastic looking mess. The image stops feeling like a real place. It looks overly processed, and that overprocessed image looks artificial, and your depth and nuance are gone. Vibrance works differently. It's designed to target the colors that are least saturated in your image, the transition colors, and boost those, while protecting what's already vivid. For landscape photography, that's exactly what you need, because landscapes naturally have a wide range of color and saturation across the frame. So the move for this is simple. Set your saturation no higher than +15. Let vibrance do the heavy lifting. That's the difference between an image that looks rich and an image that looks loud. Saturation isn't the enemy. However, when you're using it as your primary color tool, that's a mistake. Alright, quick pause. If you think this video is useful, do me a favor and hit that like button. It generally helps me reach other photographers who need help. Okay, mistake number 3, and honestly, this is the biggest one that has visual impact. So my third tip is really simple, and that's to open up the tone curve panel. Here's what the basic panel can't do. It can't give you independent control over different tonal ranges at the same time. The contrast slider works globally. The tone curve lets you adjust highlights, lights, darks, and shadows independently on a smooth proportional curve. You're shaping the light in your image, you're not just pushing sliders. In practical terms, a gentle S-curve adds depth and snap to the landscape that no combination of exposure, contrast, highlights, and shadows can replicate. Let me show you. Pull the upper anchor point up just a little. Pull the lower anchor point down just a little. That's your base S-curve. Your highlights get brighter, your shadows get darker, and the midtones, where most of the visual information in your landscape photo actually lives, gains contrast and definition. Watch what this does to the image. The image now has dimension. It looks like a place, not a photograph of a place. This is how you create a sense of atmosphere that's hard to describe but immediately visible. So here are the 3 fixes in a simple version. Stop lifting shadows globally. Use a luminance range max to target only specific shadows you want. Vibrance over saturation. Keep saturation restrained. Learn how to use tone curve. Even a basic S curve is going to help your image and increase depth. And you don't need to rebuild the way that you edit. Make these 3 changes in order on your next landscape edit, and you'll be surprised how different the results look. Thanks for stopping in at the channel today. Please leave some comments below. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.